All right, so I'm going to do this quick and dirty. So what I did was I made, it's basically two squares side by side, so it's a rectangle. And the rectangle should be twice as wide as it is tall. And that's the key thing here. So if you're using a square piece of origami paper, you want to crease it and then rip it in half so that you have a rectangle with two squares. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. And so basically, if you just use the measurement lines as your guide, and that makes it a lot easier to cut and actually hit the lines. And you'll notice that there's two diagonal marks, and that will help us when we get started folding. In case you were wondering, I have no idea where I learned this, but I remember when I learned it. I learned it in a book. So basically, when I was in 7th or 8th grade, we had to write a term paper, and that was the first term paper we ever wrote. And it was in, I think, 8th grade, because I think it was Mr. Beaver's history class. Wait, no, that was 7th grade. 7th grade, Mr. Beaver's history class. And you could write it on anything, so I wrote mine on origami. All right, so the two diagonal lines, those are important. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start out by just folding the paper in half. And so there's that line in the middle, which should help us do that. And I don't know how good of a job I did cutting this out, but that's okay. All right. And then we're going to fold it on the two diagonal lines in both directions. So I'm going to go ahead and fold this side here like this. All right, and then we're going to crease it this way. And actually, I think once you saw that it was a rectangle instead of a square that you start with, you probably had it all figured out. You probably now know exactly how to do it. But if you forgot, or if you still don't remember, then this should help you. All right, so we're going to go ahead and fold it on the diagonal lines both ways. And again, because I cut this out in a hurry, I don't know how good this one's going to turn out, but that's okay. All right, so it's creased along the diagonal lines in both of the two rectangles. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to do an inverse fold. So what that is you're going to take this corner and push it in, do the same thing there, right? And that makes a triangle that is this. So there you go, right? See that? Just like that. Do that on both sides. All right. So now it looks like this. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to crease it this way here. All right, so then we're going to crease it this way here. Okay. All right, and so now it looks like this. Okay, and then we're going to do an inverse fold there so that it makes something like this. All right. Then we take these corners and we fold them up. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, so now you have something that looks like this. Okay, so there you go there, and there you go there. All right, so I'm just going to open this up and move it out of the way. And I'll open this up and move it out of the way. And so now we have these two, right, these two bits here, and we're going to fold them. So this is the closed edge here, and this is the open edge. And I'm going to fold the open edge over like that. And I'm going to crease it. And then I'm going to turn that fold inside out. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing to the other three. So I'm going to fold the open edge over. Trying to show you what I'm doing. And then I'm going to invert that fold here. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to fold the open edge over. And then I'm going to invert that fold here. And then the last one here, I'm going to fold that over. And I'm going to invert that fold here. Okay, so now if you look at it, I have the little flappy bits at either end, and then I have basically a crane folded in the middle. Okay, so now with the flappy bits, I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to fold the open edge over, and then invert the fold like this. But these ones, instead of folding them up, I'm going to fold them down. So here, I'm going to invert, I'm going to fold this over, the open edge. And again, instead of folding them up, right, so here would be what it would look like folded up. Right, I'm going to fold that down. And I'm going to do that to all four of these. So here, the open edge, I'm going to fold it over. And then invert the fold, and then fold it down. And I'll do that one last time here. So I'll fold the open edge over. I will invert the fold, and then I will fold it down. Okay, so these four bits that are hanging down, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are going to be our legs. And these two middle ones are going to be the tail and the head. So I'm going to start with the tail, and I'm basically just going to take it and pull it down. I'll fold that. Now with the head, I can fold these out of the way so you can see. Now with the head, I'm going to crease it in the middle. Right, and that's going to make my neck. And then this one I'm going to fold over, and then I'm going to do an inverse of that fold like that. Okay, and so that makes her head, and that makes her tail, and maybe her tail sitting a little low. I can bring that up a little bit, right? And then these two are going to be the wings. So to make the wings, I'm just going to crease them at an angle, and I'll crease them at an angle the other way, and then I can fold them up. And I like to add like a sweeping curve to them just by scratching with my fingernail. You can do that again over here. Fold this one, right? And then you can crease this up. All right, so now it's like it's getting there. Now to make the legs, you're gonna fold this up, and I usually try to fold it at about 45 degrees. So fold that up, and then we're gonna inverse that fold, and then you can fold this down, and again you can inverse that fold. Whoopsie. All right, and we'll do that to all four. So we'll fold this up, and then reverse this fold, and then we'll fold this down, and then you can reverse that fold. Oof, it's been a while. And then the back ones, same thing. Fold that over, and then inverse that fold. Right, and then fold this one over, and inverse that fold. And the same thing here. Fold that over, inverse that fold, and fold this over, and inverse that fold. All right, so those make the legs, and the head, and the tail, and then we've got our wings, and we have Pegasus. All right. In any case, this is what I started out with, and that is what you finish with. Hope that works. Have fun.